You are now listening to the Divorce Diaries podcast with your host. Well, that's a secret. No names, ages, or any other identifying characteristics will be used as we protect the young and innocent. You'll be taken on a journey as one man considers getting a divorce or remaining married. The Divorce Diaries daily entries chronicle the decision-making processes in real time as they unfold day by day. He hopes to add a bit of clarity to his sometimes muddled mess of a marriage. Cheating, overspending, sex, sadness, and betrayal are the characteristics of this marriage. Is he making the right choice? Welcome to the Divorce Diaries. Entire seasons are released on Patreon weeks before anywhere else at Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Link below in description. Now for today's episode.
I just finished watching a movie called Honey Boy, and this is the rebooted Divorce Diaries podcast where I'm still going through my own form of therapy through this podcast by just having open, honest dialogue about, from a man's point of view, how I look at the world, how I look at life, how I look at my marriage, how I look at being a father. My voice has changed because I want to be anonymous. I think that who we are, if we were able to move through life without our identity, shows who we really are, what we really do. In the first, 80, 90 episodes, I was a angry, blaming, finger-pointing man, father, and husband. And now in these new episodes of the Divorce Diaries, my goal is, number one, my goal is to help myself. I'm not going to mince my words with that. I care about me more than I ever have. I can't say I care more about me than anyone, but I care more about me than I ever have. And I think it's because I understand myself more than I ever have. I used to think, and like I said, I don't know if I'm ever going to post any of those videos publicly, any of those diary entries publicly. But I do think they need to be out there because I do think that I need to be able to hear how angry I was because of what I felt the pain was that I had gone through and the perspective I had on my wife and the world around me. I no longer have that perspective because I always thought of myself as some sort of martyr. And if only external things could change, my life would be different. I guess I thought so highly of myself that I'm better than everyone around me, and I couldn't have what I called problems that everyone else does. A lack of self-awareness, I'm too smart for that. But I can't spot a problem an inch away in myself. I can spot problems in others, but I resisted looking at the ones in myself, so I didn't really understand how much of a shitty father and husband I was being because of my true lack of perspective and awareness of myself. He feels that I've done a lot of things bad and wrong to him. Sort of like in the movie Honey Boy. He blames me for everything. Am I to blame for everything? 100% no. I'm not. But those are facts. And in order for facts to come through, feelings need to be respected so they can be felt and then allowed to fade, as all feelings do, and the fact remains. But if you, like I have hurt your son. Right now, he can only focus on the pain that he feels. And the only way we'll ever be able to talk is if I do nothing but allow him the time, the space, and the respect to have and feel his feelings. If I have any chance ever of having a relationship with him that he wants with me, he's got to first know that he's allowed to feel authentically in front of me. And he can do it without judgment. He can do it without disrespect, and he can do it openly. But the Enneagram is a little different. Classifies people in different ways, like reformer or perfectionist or something like that. And that's taught me a lot about myself. I encourage anyone, everyone, to take the Enneagram test to find out what type they are, and also find out the wings that they are. I won't go into that, but find out what an Enneagram type you are and go into it deeply. I found mine to be incredibly accurate, and the people that I know, I found them to be incredibly accurate. A little bit scary. There are certain parts of the zodiac that I've looked at and I'm like, wow, that's a little bit that's pretty spot on with me. I'm not really like that. But these Enneagrams and their types, it's uncanny. That's what I'll say. It's uncanny. I understanding my type, my Enneagram type, I've been able to obviously the Enneagram does not tell me everything about myself. It's really close, but it helped me find my brakes. And what I mean is I've spent so much time on the gas, full throttle, in certain ways that it's damaged most, if not all, of the relationships in my life. And it's made them very strained. And the moment I understood my type, thanks to the Enneagram, I began to just examine the way I handle every situation. And now I'm really beginning to handle it differently. Everything. If someone didn't do the dishes in my house. In the past, as a dad and husband, I would talk about, let's see, my wife specifically. You've been home all this time. Why didn't you tell the kids to do this or that? They haven't done the dishes. I'm so mad. First off, why am I so mad? I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's not new. My wife is not a homemaker. So why does it make me mad? Am I going to come home and be surprised that my wife not only hasn't really done much or hasn't said anything to the kids about their chores? I learned this from the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. I think that's what the book's called. I have responsibility. I had the ability to respond in certain ways to my wife. Why am I fighting with a woman that is being very honest with me? I am not a homemaker. I'm not aspiring to be a homemaker, and I will not, like she said before, I will not do bathrooms. And we are not rich by any means, and we had like 3 bathrooms in our house, and I would clean 2, and I would have my son, as he was getting older, learning chores, to clean the other. Yeah, would it have been fair if my wife cleaned one? I mean, and did she do other things? Yeah, but not much. And let's take it off of her for a minute and just talk about my shitty practices. Why are you getting mad at something that is a constant in your life? Grow up, bro. Did I realize that my wife's doubling down or continuing the habit of not doing certain things? Did my resentment grow? Yes. Were my responses even worse? Yes. Did that make me an even shittier husband? Yes. And did that just make her consistent? Yes. So I literally didn't do anything to help the situation, and the only actions I took hurt the situation. Didn't make her want to be warm and affectionate and kind to me. That only eroded more over time, and I'm sure she developed her own resentments toward me. I only saw one two-way street. I didn't want to accept the fact that, and then I held over her head. I did the dishes. I had to hire a cleaning service because you said you wouldn't clean up, and I had to get the kid to sports. So if you aren't going to clean, and I don't have time to clean, but I have the money, I'll pay someone to clean. So now you don't clean. You're making me spend money I don't want to. And I'm the one taking the kid to sports. You're doing nothing. I was a real shitty person to be under the same roof with. I understand that now. And I'm not saying it was thanks to the Enneagram, but it certainly helped. Because I was already listening to some self-help, leadership, marketing, get your shit together books. I was already doing it, but for years, very, very selfish. That was my perspective. Now, knowing that I need to just focus on myself and becoming better, because that makes me a better father, a better person, a better human, a better husband. That's what I do. These books, these articles, these blogs, these videos I'm looking at, it just hits me differently now. I'm only thinking about me, not anyone else. When's the last time I did that? Am I better now for this? How do I view myself in this script, this scripture? Who am I? How am I in the world? I'm getting it figured out. And the hardest thing right now is fighting back the pain, because I'm realizing all of the landmines I set for myself, for my children, for my wife, and I just kind of kept fucking shit up, thinking I was doing something righteous. So on the new rebooted Divorce Diaries podcast, if you want to hear a man that's growing and being honest about all of his flaws and how he's contributing and contributed to the deterioration of his own marriage and family, keep listening to my Divorce Diaries therapy sessions. They're helping me. And I guess my only hope for anyone that still listens, don't look so much at your wife. Did you do anything at all to make a not great situation worse, a good situation bad, a great situation good? Did you do anything to take away, or did you add? I've taken away for too long. All I want to do is add now.
Wow. That was the Divorce Diaries podcast. The Daily Saga will continue tomorrow. The full season's episodes are on Patreon now. Subscribe for early access. Click the Patreon link in the description. Hopefully, these entries help our anonymous recorder as a form of his own personal therapy. That's his hope and his intention. Will these recordings of life's curveballs lead this family to the best resolution in the end? We'll keep listening. New episodes are released daily on all podcast players, but all episodes are available on Patreon. at Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Until next time.